On Traxa's prime, shadows stretched like unspoken vows, and survival was a currency bought with pain. In the underground arena, a brutal cathedral of sweat and violence, Marcus Kane fought for his life. Once a shipwrecked Earthborn survivor, he had become the arena's silent reaper, his victories steady and unrelenting, his spirit battered but unbroken. Marcus fought not for glory or the cheers of the mob, but for the single, defiant act of staying alive. He followed one unbreakable rule: he never killed. The crowd couldn't understand his restraint. To them, mercy was weakness. But to Marcus, it was all that remained of the man he used to be. From the luxury balconies above, Lady Issa Nixian, a noble woman with blue skin and violet eyes, watched him closely. Unlike the rest, she didn't see a beast. She saw the discipline beneath the scars, the honor behind his silence. Their meeting was destined, the collision of two worlds. "I have a proposition," she began, her voice soft and melodic, cutting through the noise of his brutal world. Before she could continue, Commander Draylock, the cold, reptilian face of colonial authority, stormed in, demanding control. The next day, destiny threw them together again. In the crowded market square, Issa defied Draylock soldiers, her voice echoing through the chaos as she condemned his illegal tax on medicine. Her courage was breathtaking and dangerous. "I once declared humanity insane, a logic gate error made flesh. From the clean, ordered comfort of my orbiting research ship, their history read like a fever dream, a chronicle of chaos, war, and impossible survival. My pilot, Xandra, found my horror amusing. 'What's got your skin that shade of purple, Krylax?' she teased. How could I explain a species that drew imaginary lines on their planet and then slaughtered each other over them? A species that poisoned their own minds for entertainment? Drex, our hulking Vargo security chief, simply grunted. 'Inefficient,' he said, after analyzing the effects of their so-called alcohol. Captain Tila, ever the pragmatist, cut through my rant. 'Enough philosophy, Krylax. We're landing. Our mission, direct contact. Our destination, a human settlement called Portland. A place humans themselves proudly called weird. Perfect.' We cloaked our vessel to look like a terrestrial van and parked outside a dim, chaotic structure called a Rusty Nail. Inside our human disguises, we were a clumsy imitation. Limbs jerking, faces twitching, holographic hair flickering. The bar was an onslaught of sound and smell. Music, laughter, and shouts merged into one overwhelming symphony of madness. We took a corner table. Our task, observe. They were playing a primitive game called darts between rounds of drinking. The chaos had rhythm, a strange order hidden inside disorder. Then, a human approached, a woman named Juniper. Her smile, it was disarming, radiant, and utterly incomprehensible. "What can I get you, folks?" she asked. My deep research on human behavior failed me completely. Captain Tila tried to sound confident. "We'll take whatever's popular." Juniper smirked. "For lobotomies, then. That should have been our first warning." She returned with 4 steaming glasses, glowing, swirling, alive with color. We stared at them in awe, wondering how a species could willingly consume something that looked like plasma waste. And then the ritual began. 2 large males, Darius and Parker, started arguing over a spilled drink. A shove, a retort, a punch, and the entire bar detonated into glorious chaos. Chairs flew, fists connected. A human soared through the air and crashed into our table, shattering our untouched drinks. Drex caught the man midair. The human, dazed but grateful, said, "Thanks, big guy. Now put me down, I've got a fight to finish." The exit was gone, lost to the storm of violence. Then Xandra's disguise flickered, exposing her 3 eyes. A man saw her. "Holy crap," he gasped. "You're not human." The entire room froze. Every eye turned toward us. And then, Parker yelled, "Hold up. I'm not done with Darius yet." The brawl instantly resumed, as if the revelation of aliens was barely worth a pause. Juniper appeared again, completely unfazed. "This way," she said, ushering us through a back door into a quiet alley. "It's Portland," she shrugged. "Last week a guy came in claiming to be Bigfoot's lawyer." She explained that Darius and Parker's fight was a monthly tradition between frenemies, a word meaning friends who are also enemies. Illogical, yet somehow perfectly human. She invited us back for karaoke night, assuring us it was less violent. We returned, intrigued, confused, and utterly fascinated. That night, we learned something incredible. Karaoke wasn't about performance. It was about vulnerability, about being awful together and laughing anyway. Then, without warning, Juniper signed us up to perform a human song called Bohemian Rhapsody. We were doomed. Before we could protest, the doors burst open. Real danger this time. A criminal gang led by a man called Maverick stormed in, cornering Parker. A knife gleamed in the dim light. This wasn't ritual, this was predation. But something changed. The entire bar, moments ago chaos incarnate, turned unified. Darius, Parker's sworn rival, tackled Maverick without hesitation. In that moment, I understood. Their chaos wasn't a flaw, it was their power. We broke our non-interference order. Drex became a one-man hurricane. Xandra moved like shadow and flame. And me? I panicked, threw a karaoke microphone at Maverick's head, and accidentally teleported myself and one of his men back to our ship. When I returned, it was over. Captain Tila had erased the gang's memories. The police arrived. The crowd cheered, not for aliens, but for their friends. Then the crowd demanded we sing.